Om. The last sutra of the Samadhi Pada is the conclusion of the first chapter. The sutra is Tasyapi Nirodhe Sarva Nirodhan Nirbijas Samadhihi. Tasyapi Nirodhe Sarva Nirodhan Nirbijas Samadhihi. Tasya api Nirodha Nirodhe Sarva Nirodha Nirbija Samadhihi. Tasya, of that, api, even of that, Nirodha, restraining, curbing, eliminating, stopping, that is the Nirodha. Sarva, all, Nirodha, again stopping, restraining. Tasyapi Nirodha Sarva Nirodha Nirbija Samadhi. That is called as Nirbija Samadhi, Bija Rahita, without seed, seedless. And a rough translation goes as, on suppression of even that, owing to suppression of all. That is the seedless Samadhi. So Nirbija Samadhi is, we should not say, or we cannot say it is defined, but we have to refer as it is. The Nirbija Samadhi is called so, or is so called, not only because there is no seed in the field of consciousness, but also because in the kind of Samadhi, there is no new samskara is created. In Sabija, new samskara comes. That new samskara, as we saw in the earlier sutra, works as a preventive, pratibandhi, to all other samskaras. But even that samskara which worked as a pratibandhi is also removed. As referred earlier, one thorn is used to remove the other thorn, but both thorns are thrown out. It is not that we keep that thorn with which we have removed. We don't keep it, we throw it out, and it is to be removed. And this is what this sutra conveys. Tasyapi Nirodho. Tasyapi Nirodhe Sarva Nirodha Nirbija Samadhi. So that is the important dimension here, where using one to remove the other, and finally removing even that which we used. In the sense, just to repeat and to understand, use one to remove the other and remove both. This is important understanding. Tasyapi Nirodhe Sarva Nirodhan Nirbija. Sarva Nirodhan Nirbija Samadhi. That is the Nirbija Samadhi. A stage where samskaras, impressions are not there. Not there means it is not there is no samskaras. Absolutely pure. No dust at all. And the best way to conclude this chapter is to say that traditionally, normally it is understood that Prathama Pada, this Samadhi Pada of Maharshi Patanjali, is for the Uttama Sadhakas. Generally in tradition, in practices, practitioners, we cannot classify it or for understanding purpose. Uttama, Madhyama and Athama Sadhakas. 3 levels have been generally put for understanding purposes. And it is considered that Pradhamapada is mainly concerned for the Uttama Sadhakas. Yoga practitioners who are very, very sincere, very intense, very deep, and for that who are committed, and for those Uttama Sadhakas, this particular pada is concerned, or the concepts, the experiences, the states, and the various discussions in the Pradhama Pada is concerned to the higher levels of consciousness, deeper layers of the consciousness. And that is how the Yoga Sutras first chapter concludes. There can be no other way to conclude this chapter better than how Swami Vivekananda concluded the first chapter in his wonderful commentary on the Patanjali Yoga Sutras in the book Raja Yoga. Swami Vivekananda writes or concludes this chapter. I quote, "You remember that our goal is to perceive the soul itself. We cannot perceive the soul because it has got mingled up with nature, with the mind, with the body. The most ignorant man thinks his body is the soul. The more learned man thinks his mind is the soul. But both of these are mistaken. What makes the soul get mingled up with all this? These different waves in the chitta rise and cover the soul. And we only are a little reflection of the soul through these waves. So if the wave be one of anger, we see the soul as angry. I am angry, we say. If the wave is a wave of love, we see ourselves reflected in that wave and say we are loving. If that wave is one of weakness and the soul is reflected in it, we think we are weak. These various ideas come from these impressions, these samskaras covering the soul. The real nature of the soul is not perceived until all the waves have subsided. So first, Patanjali teaches us the meaning of these waves. Secondly, the best way to repress them. And thirdly, how to make one wave so strong as to suppress all other waves. Fire eating fire, as it were. When only one remains, it will be easy to suppress that also. And when that is gone, this samadhi of concentration is called seedless, nirbija. It leaves nothing, and the soul is manifested just as it is in its own glory. Then alone we know that the soul is not a compound. It is the only eternal simple in the universe, and as such, it cannot be born, it cannot die, it's immortal, indestructible, the ever-living essence of intelligence. That concludes the first chapter, Samadhi Pada. Let us see the further understandings in our future sessions on the Yoga Sutras. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.